Hello, it's Senior Runner here, and today I want to talk about winter. It's been 16 years since we had our last first snowfall, and we've just had another one. And it's really difficult when you get into our age of life to think about going out and running, especially if it's snowing and it's wet or you've got ice hailing down from the sky, and you know what's going to happen. You're going to get out there in your nice thicker running outfit, as I showed you in the running tops video and the running shorts video, and you know that you're going to feel really nice and snug and warm in this specially designed top and specially thicker legs. And you're going to run down there and you're going to get really hot and sweaty. And then as soon as you stop, you know what's going to happen. You're going to suddenly feel that evaporation of moisture from that really freezing cold air, and you're going to get a cold. You're going to get the flu and you're going to feel really horrible. And you're going to be off work for a week while you recover from your illness. And you're certainly not going to be going back out running. And your other half's going to say, "I told you not to run, didn't I? I told you it was too cold." And, they're going to be right. I mean, the wife, God bless her, she died last year. She'd be saying that to me. You're not running. You're going to get a cold, and you know what's going to happen. You'll land on your chest, and you're going to be out for a fortnight and not able to work. And it then becomes a financial burden. So you don't really want that to happen, do you? So how do we try and cope with it? Because I think there is no solution to this. Let's be honest. There is no solution to how we should run in winter. I know there's several videos out there saying, in winter you should do this, you just should do this. There is no fixed answer. I think it's different for all different types of people and their mental, the way their brain works. Everybody's brain works slightly differently. Some people can, for instance, go out and do a run anyway because they feel really invigorated by a run. Every time they go out for a run, they feel invigorated. Usually it's because they're running along some brilliant views and that crisp winter morning ice view that you see along the seafront or along that open countryside looks really brilliant, and they get back thinking, that's why I run. What a beautiful view I had. What a great run it was. So if you can do that, that's great. But a lot of us can't, and a lot of us, it's going to take a while for me to run to the seafront and get that great view. So perhaps perhaps I have to go there. Perhaps I have to choose that, and I have to get in the car, and I have to go to this place, and I have to make sure I'm running around a really interesting scenic view. Now that is the first thing I would say. We have to try, if we can, to get that scenic ambience around so that we can actually run, enjoy it, and enjoy what we're looking at, and just enjoy the fact that we're running and we're alive and we can see all these fields, or we can see that that fort, or as in my case we've got an abbey down the road. We can run past the abbey and have a good look at it as we run past, and down to the seafront, and all those views that we can get. Try and use them and utilize them if we can. And it takes your mind off the fact that it's very cold and I don't want to get banned for swearing, and it's very cold. You really don't want to be out here. But then once you're out there and you're looking at these views, and your body's creating this heat, and you're fine. The problem is when you stop. So there's two points to this. When you stop, you get really cold. Now, you can just not go out, and that is one of the options. You can use, and I got some weights here. So I got some weight. I got there's two each, so in total there's 8 weights, 4 different weights. This is £6, that's £4, and then there's 2 others. And occasionally I'll get the 2 6, or I'll sort of get the 6 and the 4, and I'm lifting £10. And we'll do little exercises inside. Now that's great, because you're not going to get cold. You can wear your things please do wear your outfit, because I tell you what, if you're doing exercises inside, and you change, you look good, you feel good. Yes, let's get this done. And by the time you finish, you're thinking, yeah, come, bath, shower, and you're targeting that shower, that bath, and you're thinking, yes, I'm gonna have 10 minutes more, 10 minutes more. Come on, yes, we can do this. And you're laying in the bath or in the shower, you're thinking, oh, that was worth it, wasn't it? Indoor work, brilliant. If you've got a gym pass, I've got a gym pass, and I can now go by the car to the gym. Great idea using the gym, because then you're making yourself do some exercise indoors, and you can actually mimic running on the treadmill, for instance. So you can do running if you want. You can do more muscular exercises, squat presses or whatever, and just remember that the physical exercises tend to be they're improving certain muscles, because you're not running while you're doing these exercises, so you're just concentrating on moving certain muscles under a certain amount of resistance, i.e. weight. So do remember that that's what you're doing, and it's not mimicking the actual form of running. So it's always better to be able to do the running, which means it's always better to be at least on the treadmill at some point while everything's moving, and try and make it go up and down hills, try and change the gradient, so you are trying to increase that force as you're running, or better still, outside. Now that does make it difficult. Yeah, you can make it scenic like I've just said, but how else can we do it? Because when we stop, and that's the issue, isn't it? When you stop, you start getting cold, and when you get out for that first 5 minutes, it's also really cold. So the first 5 minutes, and then as soon as you stop. So we need to be able to not panic over the fact that we've got a nice long run ahead of us. We get out there. What you need to do is do a little bit of warm up inside. We need to warm up inside, because quite often that warming up stage is the bit that feels really cold, because you're not really warm yet, and your body's not making the heat. So if you can do some exercises inside before you go outside, that's ideal, because by the time you're getting outside, your body's started to raise that heart rate, and when you get out there, you will start to feel warmer quite quickly as soon as you start running, because you can then do a little bit of warming up at a gentle pace. But you've been training inside, you've been doing a little bit of weights, a little bit of push-ups or stationary exercises, as I say, just trying to go through each single muscle. Don't do just one particular exercise and just warm up your leg muscles and forget the arms, and don't do the arms and do all the weight training but forget the legs. Do all over once, and then go out there for a nice warm up. By the time you're doing your warm up, then you're not actually feeling quite as cold for quite as long. So that's one of the key things. And then when you get back, what we need to do is we need to cool down very, very gently. Cooling down too quickly, i.e. going from a nice run and saying, right, okay, that's my run done, let's walk back home, and it's half a mile, and you've suddenly gone straight down. That's not a good idea, because your heart rate will quickly plummet, and you'll end up doing a fair bit of walking back as you're starting to just that last bit of sweat is coming out, and you're really feeling very, very cold now. So what you need to do is you need to lower that temperature very, very gently, instead of just stopping and having a nice gentle walk. So whereas usually you would go, let's say you're doing your 8.5 minute miles, and you're trying to keep that race pace run round, and you finish the race pace run at 8.5 minutes. It's great. Yes, you've done it. A lot of people then go straight into an easy run at, say, 10 minutes per mile, or 9 minutes per mile, 9.5 minutes per mile on that, wouldn't it? So 9.5, 10.5 minutes per mile. And that can sometimes, if you've done a lot of running, make your heart rate quickly drop, and your temperature then starts to level off, and it's affected by the amount of perspiration as well. So you're suddenly feeling the cold a lot quicker. What we need to do is slowly reduce that heat gently down. And because we're slowly reducing that heat gently down, the perspiration will evaporate steadily at almost the same rate as we're slowing down. So we don't feel it quite as much, because yes, we're cooling down because the evaporation is happening, and that cools our body down. But we're also making a little bit of heat energy, and we're just gently pulling it back so that we actually still keep feeling a little bit of heat from our internal organs making that energy. Yes, but we are feeling the cool start to hit, but not in a great big whack as we would if we slowed down straight away. So always slow down a lot slower in winter, because that sudden evaporation when you get to the end of your run can absolutely knock you for six, and it can make you very, very ill. It can give you the flu or a cold, and it's not about running then, is it? It's about, I'm going to be off work for a week. So do be very careful in winter, guys and girls, because it isn't just a case of getting that mental attitude and getting out there, just because I can tell you to go and get out there and do that run. It'll be brilliant. Yeah, go somewhere scenic like I said at the beginning. It's great, but that warm up has to be done a little bit differently to get you out there and not feel the cold as you initially start. And also at the end, that cool down needs to be nice and gentle rather than quickly, because we'd usually do it quickly and you would allow the body just time to just relax on its own. But actually in winter, I find it's a lot easier to gently reduce it and have it a nice slow cool down, gently going slower and slower. And that helps me to sort of monitor that, how cold I feel, and hopefully as I reach the door, I'm feeling cold, but it hasn't been for the whole 15 minutes cool down. It's just been probably that last 2 or 3 minutes, by which time I'm near the end of the round. Come on, we can keep this going. We can keep this going. We're almost at our slowest pace. Go around the corner, open the door, have a bath. Yes, and that's what I wanted to get across today. It's just be careful out there. Make sure that you're safe underfoot as well. Make sure you've got the right shoes on. Make sure there's lots of grip there if it's icy or snowy. Make sure that your running conditions are safe physically. Make sure you warm up. Make sure you cool down properly. Make sure that you understand that those warm-ups and cool-downs are completely different in winter, or should be completely different in winter, because we're trying to reduce the effects of what may be bitterly cold conditions. So this is Senior Runner for another video. This is my this is from my Portsmouth. I got this for my Portsmouth Santa run at Christmas. Isn't that good? So it's another video. Please do like and subscribe, and it's Senior Runner over and out.